Hey guys, I wanted to jump in here real quickly because we've got an increasing tornado threat for Broward right now. There is a tornado warning that's in effect, and you can see the storm right there coming into southern Broward. Let's get ourselves oriented here. So that is south central Broward there, Cooper City, Southwest Ranches, potentially eastern parts of Weston there, as well as Sunrise. Those triangles there, those are markers. They indicate where there's strong rotation, and you can see the strong rotation right there. So, and that's moving along, and then we get pretty frequent updates here. I'm using the what's called the terminal Doppler out of Fort Lauderdale, but we can also check the other radars and see what they're showing as well. But kind of an unannounced, let's just jump on and and talk about this severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado in Metro Broward right now. So Metro Broward is the area that we're watching here. Let me just change radars here and see a different perspective. So, okay, yeah, so it's moving right along there now to the northwest. This includes Cooper City. And let me zoom in a little bit here and kind of get some roads there. So there's 595. There is Cooper City, Sunrise Acres. And what we're looking at here, this red and this green. So the red is away, that's the wind blowing away, and the green is the wind blowing towards. And so we can kind of estimate that there's rotation there. Very strong winds as well. There's been some pretty good wind gusts with this as well as it's been moving to the northwest. Let me turn off a few of the other radars here and just kind of focus so we can focus our attention on this. So once again, tornado warning, it's in effect until, and I'm also monitoring several other data sources here. So National Weather Service is saying confirmed tornado was located near Royal Palm Ranches or near Davie. So confirmed tornado is what the National Weather Service is saying, and the information is still coming in on if it's confirmed or not. But you can't take any chances. We've got the radar signature there. In fact, we've got several radar signatures kind of lined up here in a row. I know this is kind of a different way to look at the radar. Let me show what most people are used to seeing, which is that right there. What we call reflectivity, and that tornado warning basically for central and western Broward. And if I put it into motion here, you can see basically storms moving pretty quickly off to the west northwest there. So we'll be watching that and getting reports here. If I get any damage reports, I will let you know. And if you want to let me know if you see any damage reports, go ahead and just put it on the chat and we'll relay to the National Weather Service. Okay, so still watching this thunderstorm cell here. I'm going to go back to what I'm used to looking at. When we track tornadic thunderstorms, it's what we call the velocity. The velocity indicates the directions of the winds. So, and in this storm here, we kind of almost have two couplets there. We have one that's located right near I-75 and 595, and this other one here that has been moving to the northwest there. So potentially a couple of cells here, thunderstorm cells here, where there are couplets, rotational couplets we call them, looking onto the southeast for folks to the southeast. And let's see if there's any report coming here yet. No, not yet. So folks to the southeast. And actually I'm going to switch over to what we call the shear markers. So the shear markers is kind of an algorithm is used to see that wind blowing towards and away from the radar. The problem with the shear markers is that by the time we get the shear markers, they're a little bit delayed. So the National Weather Service is now saying a large tornado is confirmed over southeast, Nova Southeast in Davie, moving towards the north at 25 miles an hour, and they're calling this a particularly dangerous situation. So if you are in Davie, Cooper City, as well as Sunrise, Plantation, get to an interior room now and get to shelter. Once again, get to an interior room and get to shelter right now. Potential large tornado on the ground that's moving through these areas. So certainly something you're going to want to take very seriously and get to an interior room right away. Let's go back to the radar, the sweeping radar, and see if we can see it there. So there it is. It looks like it's coming past Cooper City and Davie right now, according to the radar images there, moving to the northwest. Folks basically in Southwest Ranches, the eastern side there, Davie, Cooper City, now Sunrise as well as Plantation, even near Weston. You should probably at least get close to an interior room there. You can see it better there, kind of forming and moving to the northwest. So, so once again, as the National Weather Service said here, and I will put that up real quickly so you can see that warning there. This was the severe weather statement. Tornado warning remains in effect. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located over Nova Southeast University or near Davie, moving north at 25 miles an hour. It's a particularly dangerous situation because it's a tornado on the ground. Radar confirmed, and the damage threat is observed. It's reported on the ground. So certainly something that folks in Broward, especially in this red polygon here, need to pay attention to with this tornado warning now for Broward and this storm there. And I'm going to keep relaying reports as I have them to you if we get them here, or if you get any reports and you want to relay them to me. I'm in communication with the National Weather Service and got a report from Davie. Thank you very much for the Davie report there of the very heavy rain. Okay, so that's the latest radar. Once again, the way that we see this, it's called velocity data. And so what it shows here is the winds blowing in the red away from the radar and in the green toward the radar. Here's a new update here. Okay, that's our update that we had there, 7:29. So no updates with that. Let me check here real quickly. So the last few scans, according to the National Weather Service, show that the circulation is weakening now. The tornado was located approximately southwest of Nova University. So University near Pine Ridge Nature Area. We'll do a short kind of radar loop there. As you can see the circulation center there, kind of on the left side of this tornado warning box there. But as the National Weather Service was saying, the circulation looks like it's weakening according to the last few scans there. Still kind of showing some circulation there. This is from a different angle, so that would be the circulation there. Let's check the Miami radar real quickly and see if we can see it there. So at this distance, the Miami radar kind of shoots higher up in the cloud, but and these images now are getting a little bit delayed. They come in about every 2 minutes, but as we're watching here, it's moving to the northwest. Okay, so the National Weather Service in Miami is dropping the word considerable to base, and so what that means is that they're saying that the threat of the tornado being on the ground is diminished, so the threat for damage is diminishing. Certainly a good thing there, but of course, if you're still in the tornado warning area, which is to the northeast here, once again, Davie, Sunrise, extreme, it's probably past extreme eastern southwest ranches right now. So Sunrise, Plantation, Davie, I think it's going to miss Tamarack because it's kind of veered a little more to the west there. There you can see the circulation that's approaching approaching 595. All right, so tornado warning remains in effect until 7:45 for central Broward County. 7:33, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Plantation, moving north at 25 miles an hour. And they've dropped. So when the National Weather Service was saying the they put a statement on there that kind of raises the alert level. And if they say it's an observed tornado, then they give a damage threat with it. And if they say considerable, that means there's a very real risk that the tornado could be doing significant damage. So certainly something to take into account there. In terms of severe weather reports right now, I'm still not seeing any right here. A lot of people reporting the tornado warning, of course, but I'm not seeing actual reports of the tornado damage there. So let's go back to Max there and trying to see if we had any reports coming in on the YouTube stream. I don't see that. And once again, so in a tornado warning, remember, the thing to do is to get to an interior room away from windows. Most of our South Florida homes are better constructed, so that's a good thing here. And it looks like the circulation is still a little bit there, but it's weakening, approaching 595 as we're showing you right here. So that would be a good thing as it moves out there, approaching 595. So mainly now Plantation and Sunrise under the most significant part of this tornado warning here, Plantation and Sunrise, as it moves to the northwest. Once again, what I'm looking at here is what's called velocity data. And so what's happening here is that the red indicates winds blowing away from the radar, the green indicates winds coming toward the radar, and that's where we find the potential tornado there. It's possible that it's lifted now. Once again, remember, tornadoes in tropical storm situations, they move rather quickly, and you need to just get to an interior room away from windows as soon as possible. Looking upstream to see if there's anything else, let me switch our radar mode here so it's just a little bit easier to see. And actually, I'm going to turn on the shear values because that's kind of easier to track as well. So we do have some more activity coming in. There's another pretty good area of higher shear approaching North Miami Beach. Let's go ahead and kind of diagnose that and see what we're seeing there with that. And yeah, there's a little bit of rotation there. Let me check it from a different radar angle. And yeah, so North Miami Beach, some rotation, not as strong as a signature as the one we were looking at there. That's moving, basically had moved through Davie and is now moving on to the west there. Sunrise and Plantation as well. All right, so there's basically what most people are used to looking at, what we call reflectivity. Let me change our smoothing here just a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. And I'll zoom out here. So the tornado warning for Western Broward there, I think it is going to probably be, and let me just check here what the National Weather Service, their latest update is. Okay, no immediate update right now. The National Weather Service is going to be focusing probably a little bit more now along and north of 595. So this is the Lauderhill, Sunrise, Plantation areas, potentially Tamarack there with the rotation as it moves to the north. Let's check out one different angle. Okay, here's an update. So we've got what you would think of as a bit of a hook here, which is that structure right there, and that's usually associated with rotation with tornadoes. That alert, by the way, was for tornado warning on the other side of the state in Hendry County. Okay, so if you're just joining us once again, tornado warning, it's in effect for about another 6 or 7 minutes here. I think that other radar scan kind of shows it a little bit better, the rotation there. This is the rotation that is reported to have produced a tornado near Davie, near Nova Southeast University, moving to the northwest, and that's probably still the signature right there. Let's look at it through what we call the Doppler velocities. And yeah, so that signature kind of stands out really nicely. So there's the signature in the rotation, and then that shows up perfectly with the kind of that, it looks like kind of a bit of a hook right there. Okay, so report police sirens, University and Griffin area in Davie, thanks for that. People having trouble hearing me? You know what? Let me just check my audio here real quickly. Thanks for, you know what? Thanks for doing that, saying something, because it's a YouTube stream. I can turn up my levels a little bit there, but other folks saying you can hear me fine. I think what it is, I'm talking a little bit softer here. All right, so current trends will allow the tornado warning to expire in 5 minutes, so that's good. So the National Weather Service is going to allow this tornado warning to expire, and of course we'll be watching upstream here for any potential additional activity. Once again, our shear markers, they're kind of a way that we track where there is rotation in the atmosphere. And I'm going to kind of give you what we call shear tracks here. So this kind of, if you look at it, you can see where the greatest rotation has been. And there's this almost a pathway now. We're going to have to watch this through the evening because it's on this band that's coming in of potential tornadic storms draped across much of north and northeast and northwest Miami-Dade and southern and western Broward as well. So this is going to be probably potentially a long night here. We're going to have to kind of keep our vigilance, as they would say, with that. Let's zoom on out here and kind of take a take a wider view of the radar here and open things up a bit here. So you can see that one little marker there, that yellow to green, indicates rotation in the atmosphere. Some pretty good squalls. These are lifting north. Those will likely stay offshore, may impact Palm Beach County. We've got some rotation also over the Everglades out there. Kind of a treacherous night to be crossing Alligator Alley. And we've got some rotation also in the Keys, but nothing significant. And of course there we've got Ian, the hurricane that is unfortunately getting closer and closer to Florida. There you can see the Keys. In fact, Key West had a hurricane force wind gust about an hour ago, and more of that is in store. And I'll talk briefly, since we're on here, about what's going on with Ian. So, and we'll talk about some of these other areas like Titusville and Broward County up along the northeast coast where you're still a little ways away, but we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so National Weather Service is saying the tornado warning will expire here at 7:45. The storm which prompted this warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, the warning is going to be allowed to expire. So good news there. Back to the hurricane here. The hurricane, and I'm going to clear out our crawl here on the bottom of the screen because now it's kind of dated there, and I don't want people to just tune in and say, oh, what? There's a tornado near Miramar? No, that was when the warning was issued. So back to the storm here, you can see that the eye wall replacement cycle looks like it's really underway. The inner eye wall continues to deteriorate. The outer eye wall is beginning to take over and fill in there. And so basically we're going to have, unfortunately, a larger hurricane there with that larger center and the larger effects from it. That was an alert from the Storm Prediction Center saying that the threat for severe weather and tornadoes continues over South Florida. And now we've got like a bigger area that's heading basically to the northeast towards the west and southwest coast of Florida. Remember, the center point in the forecast, we're not really focused on that. We're focused on a much bigger area for the potential threats because the storm's getting larger and there's still some uncertainty there. So with that, you know what, I'm going to drop off here. We will regroup at 8 o'clock and talk about things. And thanks for dropping in. This is unfortunately probably going to be the way it goes here as we cover now some severe weather associated with Hurricane Ian. So we'll be back with you in about 15 minutes.